Shlomo, tell us where we are.
So right now we are at the center of Hebron. This itself is why people come here. The cave of the Patriarchs. This is where Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rivka, and Leah are buried, right behind us. As you see, there's a large crowd today of many people, because today is, as I've said before, Chol HaMoed, which is the intermediary days of Passover, where people are allowed to use electricity and they're allowed to use their cars. So a lot of people come here to reconnect with the forefathers who created Judaism, and they live right here. Many people, when they come here, they look at the cave of the Patriarchs, and what does it remind people of? It reminds people of the Western Wall. The reason why is because the person who built the Western Wall also built this place. His name was King Herod, and he actually built this place over the cave. Now, why in Hebrew it's called the Merata Machpelah. What does Machpelah mean? It means the place of two caves in Hebrew, because there's two caves underneath. Now, many people would say, well, how do we know there's actual two caves? The reality is because people have actually gone down to the two caves before. After the 6-Day War, when this place was taken over, you had a little
Taken over from who?
From the Jordanians, because it was under Jordanian control until 1967. And the way that Hebron was conquered was you had Rav Shlomo Goren, who was the chief rabbi at the time of the army, came here by himself after they liberated Jerusalem. He came down here by himself with another soldier, and back then the Arabs were afraid. They didn't want to mess with the Jews because we had won in the 6-Day War. We managed to push back huge Arab armies, and we were a tiny country. So they didn't want to mess with us. And they were also told a lot of these lies that Jews ate children and the Jews all did all these horrible things. So they thought we were like these crazy vampire creatures that ate people. So they didn't want to mess with us. So Rav Goren comes here to the cave of the Patriarchs, and he knocks on the door. And when he knocks on the door, he pretty much says, "Hey, I'm here. Open the door. I want to come in." And he says, the Arabs say, "I don't have the key." He says, "Okay, that's no problem." So he starts shooting the door with his Uzi. And as you can do with the Uzi, the Arab says, "Okay, stop." He opens the door. He comes in, and from then on, there's always been a struggle in the very beginning to have Jews pray here, because Moshe Dayan, who was in charge of the army, was the general at the time, didn't want the Jews to go pray inside, and they wanted them to remove their shoes and treat it as a mosque. And he also wanted Rav Goren to take down the flag.
Why did he want to do that? That doesn't make any sense.
Because Moshe Dayan believed that we were going to give it back, and in good faith he wanted to respect the inhabitants of Hebron who were only Arabs at the time.
But he didn't want to respect their own right to this place?
So, like many Jews, unfortunately, Jews will think about other people's rights before they think of their own rights. Mm-hmm. And that's the humanistic, non-Torah, very secular way of looking at the world, which Moshe Dayan was very secular and was a very humanistic way of looking at the Torah and looking at the world itself. So he wanted to hand the keys over to the Arabs. Shlomo Goren says, "I'm not going to take down the flag, and I am not going to take off my shoes. This is a synagogue. It was a synagogue before, and it's a synagogue today, and it will always be a synagogue. Because it was a king, it was a Jewish king who built this before, and it was a Jewish man who bought the first purchase here in Israel was Abraham, who bought the cave below, who was our forefather."
But don't the Christians and Muslims kind of claim it as their own in a way? They also, like the Christians, will say that Abraham...
There's not much of a Christian claim of this place. The claim
there was, though, wasn't there? Like the Byzantines?
Sort of. There was a Byzantine church built over this during the Byzantine era. And you can see the structure of the church a little bit that was on top of there, which is a Byzantine structure. But overall, this place, after the Mamluks came in, they made it into a mosque, and that's why they put up the minaret in Arabic, the towers, the call to prayer. But it's always been a Jewish site for more than about 2,000 years.
So why are there people over there praying like it's the Western Wall when it's not the Western Wall? And why are they praying in that direction?
So the reason is because there are a lot of people who are from a very ultra-Orthodox perspective, that they say that we're not at the stage yet to go inside the Cave of the Patriarchs, to go inside the actual building.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So a lot of people from Satmar, for example, or
What's Satmar?
Toldos, or Nutricarta, the very anti-Zionist, the Jews, or the
But
very
they don't-
ultra-Orthodox, don't believe in going in to the
But
the
these
cave.
guys don't look like that.
So not everyone is, and some of these guys are on a tour, and some of these people are praying outside because it's also very crowded. But also this place is a very significant place itself because this is where the seventh step was.
What seventh step?
So for 700 years, when the Muslims came here, about 700 years ago,
Uh-huh.
and took over the land of Israel, they forbade Jews from going inside the Cave of the Patriarchs.
Why'd they do that?
Because they believe that because Jews are non-believers in the Quran and they're non-believers in the Prophet Muhammad, they don't believe that they have any rights to pray at the holy site. They believe it's only a Muslim holy site. And in Arabic they call it Al-Masjid Al-Ibrahimi, the Abraham Mosque. So, or Al-Haram Al-Ibrahimi. Maybe it's Haram Al-Ibrahimi or Al-Masjid Al-Ibrahimi. I'm not so, I forget because I haven't, it's one of those terms. It's either the sanctuary of Abraham or it's the mosque of Abraham.
And in Islam, Abraham was like the founder of Islam.
That's also true. So that's also what they believe, and they believe that Jews have no real connection to this place. So the Jews protested, and the Arabs just didn't want to have any more of it, so they said, fine, we'll let you pray only here. There used to be a building on this side. It used to have steps, and they only let the Jews pray at the seventh step. If they would go beyond the seventh step, a Jew could be killed or could be severely beaten for going up to the seventh step. So for 700 years, Jews were not allowed to go up to the seventh step.
And this was even under the British mandate, right?
Even under the British mandate, they kept the rule in. There was a guy, his name was Zebravachi, who later became like the general of the Israeli military. When he was a young boy, he came here to pray with his parents. He went up to the seventh step, and the Arab guard who was there beat him up because he went up to the seventh step. So in '67, he was a soldier, and he wasn't just a soldier; he was a general in the army. So he saw the building, he saw the seventh step. He remembered what happened, so he ordered the building and the seven steps to be completely destroyed. And because of that, that structure no longer exists.
Thanks so much for that insight, Shlomo.